Hola, and welcome to Oye Cinema Club. My name is Marina, aka Dignified Couch Potato, and today we are going to be reviewing the movie Secondhand Lions. Last time we were on here, I had a vote against this movie and another movie, and this was the one that everyone voted for. I thought about it because it's been on my mind a lot. I've always wanted to kind of talk about it with the guys, but I was like, this is kind of juvenile. And then JP picked SpongeBob, and I was like, you know what? I can pick Secondhand Lions. Like I'm good to go. Like if we could do SpongeBob, we can do this. But yeah, speaking of everyone else, I'm not alone tonight. I also have with me Steve Dez, Jason Eccles, JP, and El Landino. All right, well, let's dive right into first impressions. We'll start off with Steve. Can't hear you.
Are you
Same.
muted, Steve?
Can't
All
hear
right.
you.
I'll just pantomime for Steve.
I
Let's
had the
start off with
same thoughts.
Was great.
start off with Jason. Woo!
The movie had cool effects, and there was a lion. It was my favorite.
We're starting off with Jason.
Okay. This is my first time seeing this movie. I do remember when it came out. I didn't see it. It always kind of felt like a kid's movie, and I was probably like, I'm no kid anymore. I'm watching adult stuff. Like Pulp Fiction. So I mean, I don't. But I I like this movie. It's really hard not to like Robert Duvall in anything, and this is kind of like you know him being a little bit comedic, which is totally capable of. And same thing for Michael Caine. It's heartwarming. I like the relationship between the three. The uncles and the nephew. Haley Joel Osment is good in this thing, and he's really holding his own in this movie. I mean, he's pretty much like the star of this thing, just like he was the star of a bunch of other movies before this. So he's the thing that's holding all this together essentially. But he's acting opposite two legendary dudes, and just their story alone, it's very kind of warm, and it does a lot of flashbacks and stuff. It kind of has sort of a Sandlot vibe to me a little bit for some reason. Like it's kind of like it feels like it's in the same universe, the Sandlot. Sandlot. Um, because that's I guess maybe the age that this kid is. He's probably like he's trying to figure himself out. He's like probably 11, 12-year-old boy. I thought it was a pretty sweet movie, honestly. I mean, he's near orphaned. He realizes that his mother doesn't like. She's not being a good mom, really. I'm not saying she doesn't care about him, but she's not being the best mom. And he really needs like parental figures in his life. And I thought those two guys who want nothing to do with anybody, let alone a nephew. It's just really nice to see them all have like an authentic relationship with each other because they were being used for their money by other family members, and he was being used to like get the money for other family members. And they're kind of the only ones in this story that actually genuinely had human moments and cared for each other. So that was pretty cool. It's also kind of fun seeing the flashbacks of the adventure stuff. Kind of felt like a piece out of like Lawrence of Arabia or Indiana Jones movie a little bit. So that was kind of fun. Um, all in all, I would say that I did enjoy this movie. I didn't hate it at all. It's a family film for sure. But I liked it. I don't. Uh, yeah, I liked it. And there's a lot to like about it. Honestly, I think it was a pretty well made movie. I don't know if people are watching this for like generations though. I don't know. Maybe they are. But it's a good movie.
Thank you. Let's do JP next.
Okay, so I'm on the same boat. Um, First time watching it, saw the trailers when I was a kid. Um, First impression's weird because I always assumed that this was a much more serious, grounded movie. So that was my expectations of it, just from remembering the trailers back in the day. And then to actually see the film was kind of a trip. Um, I'm kind of flabbergasted at how many like important and like award-winning folks are in this picture,
Mm.
and it was very, very hokey. Um, like the levels of hokey that I was not expecting. I was also very immature. I could not get over. I couldn't get over Haley Joel Osment. You know, at that age, I've only seen him as an adult and as a child, never in between. And the in between was I'm a small man for that. In that regard, I couldn't help it. It was like, oh man, I'm the bad guy here, where I cannot separate that to the performance. I was like, man, this is a rough watch for me.
No.
And honestly, Michael Caine and Robert Duvall as well. Like, Robert Duvall out of the three, the better actor, but man, hearing that Texan kind of coming out like, you know, accent or whatever. I mean, look, it's definitely a family movie. If anything, the closest thing I could kind of like maybe. No, actually, no, never mind. I don't really know how to compare this movie to. I feel like if I were to have grown up with it, I would have definitely had a different reaction to it. But as a first time viewer, I was kind of surprised at how messy of a film this was. That's my first impression.
All right. I saw that coming. I saw your letter. All right. I can't believe I did Jason last. He's the one who get first. He's the one who gives me the most grace. I feel like it's just getting worse. Dino, let's see. Maybe you'll surprise me.
All right. Worst movie ever. No. Kidding. Uh, yeah, first time watching it, this I feel back in whenever this was coming out, it was in all the pre-trailers of most of the VHSs. I feel like that we had laid
1000%.
around, or when we would go check out movies, this is what used to show up. Not the movie I thought it was gonna be. I didn't realize, that we would have the Prince of Persia type of flashbacks. Also, just check PG movie. This movie, so many people getting murked, left and right, murk, murk, murk. Like, can we talk? I mean, I don't know if we're gonna talk about it, but I was thinking like, wait, is this a story or is it spoiler alert? Helicopter, Deus Ex Machina comes down and is like, oh yeah, this did happen. Basically, your great uncles murked all my grandparents' people and almost murked him. Like, what is that about? I will say, I could have sworn this movie was maybe based on a children's book or even like comics, like a Calvin and Hobbes type. That's why, because it was very weird seeing him, do the artist at the beginning, and then at the end you see a little bit more, and then for the credits, it's like all drawing. Come to find out, the writer director did the Iron Giant or whatever that one is. So I mean, I guess if he's a artist, that's maybe it. So that was another thing that was just throwing me off. Like, what is this? I did overall enjoy it. I do feel a little bit like Haley Joel Osment was in that weird place, kind of like season 2 of Stranger Things, when like kid actors start getting older to an age, and you're like, oh, as a kid, was he a really good actor because he didn't realize he was acting, but then he gets a little older, and now he realizes he's an actor, and so he like starts overdoing stuff, and then there's that weird kind of thing happening. So I felt a little bit of that. There wasn't really much dialogue. It's a weird film. I thought it was very cute though, and at times it really worked. And then most of the time, I was just like, "What is this movie?" yeah, I don't know. It was weird. It was cute. It was fun. It was a good watch overall. So, first impressions.
Thank you. Can we hear you now, Steve?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yay. What's your first impression?
Alrighty, first impression. I was supposed to be first. Now I'm the last one. Well, almost the last. But I had no idea. I thought the film was called Secondhand Lions, and I thought I just watched Secondhand Aladdin.
Wow.
And now I understand why they call it Brokeback Mountain. Because like they definitely lived happily ever after to the point that they crashed that plane. Spoiler alert. But it was hilarious, just like JP said. It was also hilarious to me that like, what's the name of Batman's butler?
Alfred.
Alfred.
I mean, but the guy that plays it,
Oh, Michael Caine.
Oh, Michael Caine.
Michael Caine. In that scene that they're in the field, especially in that scene, I couldn't hold it together. This guy was speaking stupid British, like hella British, like in that scene. And they didn't even mask it. They said, let him act. Just let him do his thing,
Oh, wow.
And yeah, because like that accent was off. I was paying attention to that accent. No, Marina cannot hold it together right now because she knows the truth. She knows the truth. I was also like, is this how the recruitment for like Epstein's Island went by,
What?
or I was all over the place with this movie because I had no idea what this movie was going to be about. I'm like, yo, what happened to the giraffe? Like, did the giraffe run away as well? It was there for like 30 seconds, and then nobody mentioned the giraffe. It was just the lion. You know what I'm saying? Like, the giraffe just. I was like, how did they transport that giraffe there? Like, okay. This movie, it's insane. It's just crazy. I gotta say it. Like, Dino can say it's cute or whatever, but it's insane. It's insane, and it's even insane because I was like, okay, this movie has to be, I don't know, 1991, and then I saw at the end of the movie, this is a 2003 movie. What? What are you talking about? Like, this is crazy. And that the mom did a great job because I hated her. So the actress that did the mom, amazing job. I wanted to go inside the screen and slap her a couple times. I would never do that, but like just the character. It was that good. Yeah, man, like this movie's it's crazy. And also like very like another thing that I was just like, how does this even make sense? That's when it became a cartoon to me, the movie. It was like the family, I guess the real family that came with the other kids or whatever. They were like, oh, that they also want to get part of the inheritance and whatever. At one point, they just start shooting salesmen. And then she's like, oh, you're going to do that gun stuff? Not around other kids. And they leave. And then later when they come back or whatever, like everybody is out with a gun, including the kids. The kids, each of them have mini shotguns.
Yep.
I was like, this is crazy. And yeah, let me tell you, I was just like, how hypocritical is that? And also the guy that wrote this, his name is called Tim McCanlies. So is this dude lying the whole time? Like, his name is McCanlies. He can't lie. That's his name, legit. It was at the end of the movie. I was like, well, this whole movie was a lie then. Anyways, that's my first impression.
Okay. All right. I'm never not picking a chick flick again. Goodness gracious. Now.
Oh, one last thing about my first impression. It could be the worst movie since Havoc.
Oh my god.
I don't know if it's that level of bad.
He didn't say what horse stands, so I'm still in the red or the black. I don't know. I don't know. All right. So my turn. All right. So this is not my first time watching this. I watched this when probably around the time it came out, not realizing, maybe a couple years. My mom used to go pick up DVDs or VHS, whatever was going on, 2004, 2005, and there would be like this specific thrift store had like $2 Tuesdays, and she'd just pick up whatever was there. So this was in that pile of movies that she would buy. And PG is crazy because normally she'd gravitate towards G, but every once in a while I'd get lucky with a PG film. And so growing up basically under a rock, I had zero idea that like Robert Duvall, who that was. Like I didn't know. So all I knew is, oh, that's the kid from The Sixth Sense, which I had never seen, but the commercials were big enough to where everybody knew that movie. And so it's just so interesting that like as a child, this movie was so miraculous to me, not knowing that low key, it's kind of freaking weird. Like how many like heavy hitters are in this fantasy film? And but I thought it was really cute. So rewatching it now and realizing who everybody is, right? The person who plays his mom has been in so many iconic things like Robert Duvall and Michael Caine have been in so many iconic things. It definitely was a different feel this time. I was like, what the heck? Like, were we on a writer's strike I don't know about? And like, and they just like, this was already written. So people just jumped in on it. I still think it's cute. Obviously being a young, curious child growing up in a strict environment, this is definitely, I understand why like preteen Marina really gravitated towards this film. It's just about like living your life and how like nobody is what they seem. Like we meet older people and you have zero idea what their story is, right? Like it's like two grumpy guys living on this farm together and like we have zero idea what they've been through. And it gravitated towards me then, and honestly it was a little emotional for me now. Like just I'm in a completely different realm of life and it still was like, wow, like we all have a story and I wish I had like millions of dollars in a farm, but it just like it's just like yeah, it's still cool. And you know, I'll always be like a fantasy person and a dreamer, but I definitely understand why it can come off as like kiddish to some people or just like what the heck is going on here, especially like when your first impression is these great actors that have been in very impactful films playing in something so silly, for lack of a better word. But I think it'll always be in a place in my heart that like I did not know who any of these people were, and I just watched them act out a story, and there was adventure and stuff. So it was really cool rewatching because I honestly don't think I've ever rewatched it since I was a kid. So it was good. And then rest in peace to Robert Duvall. It definitely brought it back to my mind that he passed away. But yeah, so I get that. I get how it can be conflicting. I wish I knew you guys when you were 11 and 12. Maybe it could have been a whole different perspective. Because I do think that fuels me, right? Even though I watched it, I'm like, I knew it was gonna be silly. It still was like, wow, this is a cute story about getting older and having a story and how life just goes on with or without you. It's really sad. But yeah. All right.
The faux cop, I guess, died last year. Nicky Cat, right?
Oh.
I was just
God.
looking a little bit at the cat. Stan, is that the guy? Was that the faux police at the end? I think so. Anyway, younger guy than Robert Duvall. Sorry, I was just surprised. I was like, this guy looks young. Also, you're 11 or 12 or are 11 or 12? Because there are different years for knowing us when we were 11 or 12.
Well, this movie came out in 2003, and I'm always a year younger than the last digit. So I was exactly 12 when this came out. So maybe I was 13 when I saw it. By the time a VHS ends up in a thrift store.
Might have been in Cancun, baby.
Yeah, you guys were probably already 14 plus, so it definitely wasn't on your radar. You know what I mean? Like I was in my last couple of years where magic happens. Like you guys might have had your first job at that point, but yeah, it's tough. It's tough when you miss the mark because I definitely feel like I was on the last of like my Peter Pan magic when this movie came out.
Sure.
So, all that being said, let's talk about favorite characters. Anybody can speak up.
Yeah, I would like to say something more interesting, but I think the reality is that I was my eyes like I really tuned up when young Robert Duvall was on the screen. All that adventure sequence, just kind of like I said, it kind of felt like them fighting Nazis. It felt like Indiana Jones, and he's in the Foreign Legion, and
Yeah.
it felt like what's that?
The Mummy, Brendan Fraser,
Yeah,
and the
the
Mummy.
Mummy. Yeah, all that time period. So when all that was going on, I was like, yeah, this is kind of like, this is like as a kid at least, or I don't know, at some point in my life, like to me, like this seemed like quintessential adventure, sword fights, and riding horses in the desert, and saving a princess, and or whatever she was. Like all that seemed great, and then him like. I like the love story in it, him finding this princess and then becoming like heartbroken. I like that whole like dichotomy of it. So I really liked pretty much everything that happened when they were younger, like the excitement of them going on an adventure and being young. Like you're in a foreign country and you get like mistakenly drafted into the army, they won't let you leave. Like, oh, you got to fight now. And I've heard stories like that before. I know it's a kids movie, but I've heard it. And I'm always like, that's so weird. Like, how does someone force you to fight in their army? Like, how did that even happen? But then, like, not Garth. What was the other uncle's name? Robert Duvall.
Hub, Hub,
Yeah,
Hub.
Hub just took right to it. Like that's what he was born to do. He was born to fight in the French Legion. And I don't even know who they were fighting at that time in history, but I mean, they said he was in like 40 battles or something stupid. I mean, so anyways, I kind of liked all that stuff. I like young Hub.
Dopey, dopey. Anybody
Yeah,
else?
I also digged almost all the casts from the throwback scenes. It was funny because I was telling Michaela while we were watching this film, where it was like, how is it that the main cast in the present day are acting cartoonish, but the cast in the past, which is by far a play, it straight up feels like a film being shot on a stage.
Yeah. Sure.
How are they taking it way more seriously? Like that is so wild to me. That's how I read it. But I had more fun watching those flashback scenes, even though low-key problematic. Dez's line of secondhand Aladdin is boss, man. That was fucking funny.
Well, I'm glad when Michael Caine only won half blackface or brown face when he
Yeah,
was
I
pretending to
did
be.
consider that. I consider
When it came that I thought that was funny though. Like clearly he just like did this makeup even though he had the glasses, and then when the thing falls down, it's just like white, and I was like, all right. I mean, I think that's funny just because it's like let's just do what's gonna be showing. But
I
yeah,
agree with you. I
that's
agree.
like
I wasn't offended personally. I was like, well,
yeah.
you know what? Like, I was looking for the moment. I was like, oh, you guys are being offensive. Like, here we go on some bullshit. I was like, oh no, I didn't feel anything.
Well, especially if it's to like save the brother, right? I guess it's like, well, I guess he's
You do what you got to do, right?
yeah. I took it as his accent being weird. They were basically almost 40 years in Europe, right? So
Mhm.
I'm just like, his accent just went weird. Hey, my accent's weird. It's been in U.S. this many years, been in Paraguay that many years. It
Yeah, there you go.
changes. I mean, I'm no Michael Caine, but hey, it changes.
Right. Yeah, right. Like he spent years in the UK and years in North Africa and then years in the US. He's gonna have a weird accent.
Dina, did you say your favorite character?
I'm still digesting who it might be because they feel so similar. Um, and so I'm like, I don't just want to say the flashback part. I mean, the two horses in the flashback, they're pretty top notch. Those horses, right? And, it gave me RRR vibes. Only that RRR vibes was the horse and the motorcycle, kind of bromance, and this was, two horses, bro girlmance. Yeah, but I'll have to get back to you at that. I will say there was a musical of this that was also made, so it must have done well enough for
Oh wow.
for it to have a musical.
Oh, that's interesting. Because this is something my mom found in a bin at a thrift store, and I never heard of it before. And I've always thought that this was some. And again, like when I first saw it, I didn't know any of these actors. I'd never seen Godfather, or I don't even know if Michael Caine has like done some of his bigger things yet. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah, he's done some stuff before this.
I just never saw it. And same thing with the person who plays his mom, who's like Kevin Bacon's wife. Like I knew none of this. I just was like, these silly people, all these silly people, like making a silly movie. I didn't think of it.
I mean, this movie is pretty loaded. Like as I was watching this, like I saw Karen Sedgwick. I'm like, oh wow. I'm like, and then I started thinking about the cast, like just those four, because I know the two guys and the two uncles in it right away. And when they're driving the car, I'm like, wow, there's four like legitimate stars in this movie. Like I had no clue. Like I hadn't even considered it.
And some of the really young kids are in the middle, or are in Malcolm in the Middle, or one of those TV shows, right?
Well, even the uncle and aunt, like the uncle that was trying to get the money, that's Michael O'Neill, who's been in a ton of things, and his wife was Deidre O'Connell, who's also been in a ton of things. Like Michael O'Neill was in Dallas Buyers Club, Transformers. Like he's been in like a lot of stuff, and even the guy who plays Walter as an adult, Josh Lucas.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like he's in their movie for 5 minutes, and he's been in so many things. Like it's just like I don't know. Like I said, it'd be funny to know, like, was this a passion project by a mutual friend or what? But like, yeah, I mean, as much as I love it, I have to admit that it is pretty crazy, the cast that they have.
You know why this is so weird also for me to last night we went to the rooftop cinema to watch The Godfather because Alita hadn't seen it, and we wanted to kind of see an outdoor rooftop thing. So seeing Robert Duvall in The Godfather, probably peak of just his youth, to then seeing him as a crabby guy on a porch with a shotgun, I was like, whoa.
Like, this guy's got range.
I know you guys like these guys in their prime, but funny enough, I love both characters in their old age. Like I have always had like a sweet spot for old people. I've always have, because like as much as it doesn't feel like it, if you get the opportunity, you're gonna be old. You know what I mean? And so it's just so funny to me. Like even though like it's like grumpy old people, like blah blah blah, these two grumpy old men, it is pretty funny, right? Like if you live on this earth long enough, people pissing you off, trying to steal your gold, trying to steal your woman. Like I see myself just being grumpy and like that. So even at a young age watching this movie, I was just like, wow, like what did life hit them for them to be this grumpy? And so I really like them. Oh, okay.
I thought they were gonna be crabbier longer, if that makes any sense.
Listen. I love old people, especially when they're in a gay relationship, and you can tell in that relationship
I think they were
who
brothers.
was giving the mother loving energy.
They're brothers.
They're brothers.
I know they're brothers, but like it almost felt like they were a couple. Like they were.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the first time you said the Brokeback Mountain thing, I was like, maybe he's just being funny, and then now you really feel like there.
Now it's like it's incest too now.
Listen. Who gave you the more masculine energy out of the two? Robert Duvall, right?
Yeah,
Who
Hub.
gave you the more? Who gave you the more like everything's gonna be okay, child. Come hug me, come, like the motherly. It felt like that. That's what it felt.
We have
That
more
man's
nurturing for sure.
Yeah, that's why he became Batman's best friend.
Do you intentionally have two Steves right now?
Yeah, one for sound and one for video.
Okay.
Wow.
We'll let it be.
Got it.
We'll
Sometimes you gotta ghetto rate that thing, Marina.
Sometimes you just gotta pop up and show StreamYard,
That's right.
Pop. Anybody else have a favorite character? No? Okay. What about favorite period of the story? Right? I really like when we start getting those flashback scenes because I think that was one of the things that really like brought me in as a child. I'm just thinking this is a kid who's stuck with his uncles for the summer. And for them to start, kind of diving into their past, that was like my favorite moment. Like, wow, again, like people are more than they seem in their life of what they've lived. So that's my favorite thing. It's probably everybody else's favorite, but I had to say it first. So, does anybody else have any other favorite part?
I do.
Okay.
I really like the end of the second act, beginning of the third. Like when he finds that money and I mean the treasure or whatever it's supposed to be. Like I thought it was kind of funny that the money was like scattered everywhere. You know what I mean? It's like there was like no organization. It's just like, look, treasure's there. You ever need a few bucks? Go down to the treasure basement and go in the barn. There's some treasure. You can just buy some pizza if you need it. It was crazy. Like it was just out. I mean, it wasn't out in the open because they were in a farm. Like nobody was around. It's just funny the way it was. It was scattered about like it was a kids movie. You know what I mean? It was just like here's some coins and some money, the boxes.
Well, that's how much money clearly they had. It's just talk.
It just didn't matter. Like none of the money was like ruined. Like it didn't get wet from the rain, which was awesome. So going into that, the movie really starts cooking. Like when his mom comes back with the new boyfriend and whatnot, and he's like all his suspicions about his mom are confirmed. It's like no denying it. Like yeah, Vegas. Like oh, mom, you've been lying the whole time. Like you're a scumbag. Then the boyfriend comes and like jumps on him because she's already told the whole family business to this scumbag because they're all trying to like loot these poor uncles. Once that happens and he kind of like attacks Haley Joel Osment, Walter, like that's when the movie really gets cooking. It doesn't like so that was kind of like it wasn't a turning point, but it's like now we're really kind of grounded in reality. You know, not until like they defeat the antagonist and he's like back in the car and he's all beat up does it start getting like a little silly again.
You mean the full body cast?
Yeah, the the cartoon full body cast.
Yeah. No,
From
those
being mauled by a elder lioness that died.
a secondhand lion, okay?
Yeah.
Also, was it even believable that
What?
Robert Duvall was it even believable?
I think so because I think a lion would would tear you up with just a punch. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel
What
like
I mean, I have a true life story about that because I did used to work at a zoo and there was an elderly lion.
You got
Lion
eaten by a lion?
Huh? I didn't, but I know of someone else. I'll just say, luckily, it was an elderly lioness and no longer had her canines, and but still got pretty scratched up and all that. So I can see it being like, yeah, the lioness was able to defend him and clawed him up and all that, but didn't like kill them, right? That's what I'll say about that. That it's believable because I've heard of and know of someone who seemed to have one-on-one with a.
Well, you know what they said in the movie. You believe whatever you want to believe.
Yeah. I'll tell you guys the story maybe when you guys are older.
So,
That's
super
why.
side quest subject. Let's jump 40 years from now, right?
Mhm.
What is something that you as an old person that no one would guess that you did in your youth?
Oh,
Work
wow.
at a zoo.
In your youth.
So you know
that
that. Oh, go ahead.
that I used to meet up with actual people.
That's hilarious. That's wild.
That COVID happened.
Stop taking all the good ones.
Do you remember there was a movie? I think it was called. Maybe it wasn't. Or no, it was. It was called Big Eyes, I think, and it was about this guy. I think it was. It was like a Tim Burton movie. I don't remember, but oh, maybe that wasn't it. But it was the movie where the guy, it was Ewan McGregor, and like he had this crazy adventurous life, and everybody thought he was like telling these tall tales his whole life, and then he
Big Fish. Big
Big
Fish.
Fish. That's the one. Yeah, Big Fish. And it's just kind of like, everybody's like, yeah, some of this stuff is lying. Maybe one of these stories is true. And then he has a funeral, and all the people from his story shows up at his funeral. Like, wow, this dude really did live that life. Like, this dude was like a, gypsy and a circus clown and all these different, lives. And it's like, wow, what an amazing adventure. This kind of gave me that vibe a little bit too, I think. I don't really know how to answer your question, truthfully, Marina. Because now it's making me feel like I lived a very boring life.
Let's go live. That's my point. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know what I'm saying? This is now.
Well,
I
at
totally believe you did that. That seems just like you. Like, no matter what I said.
what
Totally
age
do that.
did they get? They were 19 when they went overseas, right?
Yeah.
I feel like even like Jason, promo life and stuff. Like if you're in your 90s and you tell people you used to work at events and like give people free stuff, they're like, okay, Mr. Jason.
Oh, yeah, free stuff. Okay, Uncle Money Bags, just giving out all the free stuff. Get a load of this guy.
I would say this. You guys would never know, but I used to get paid to clap in television and laugh for fake.
Oh yeah. But even your travels, Steve, like I feel like people don't believe people when they talk about traveling and stuff. Like not me answering all your questions for you, like know your worth. Know your story.
No, I got a million interesting things to talk about. I'm just saying the darnest things.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, people will probably think that's fake. Like you got paid to be in the audience of a show, but yeah, right. Like whatever. Yeah.
And
They
like
asked me to be in 3 court shows and I said no. and one was flying me to Miami.
I don't got any interesting stories like that, but I feel like once we're their age, I feel all of us could definitely tell like kids, like tell that Haley Joel Osment kid is like, there was a time where I did not have a cell phone or stuff like that. It's like, what? Lolo J, you never had a cell phone? Nah,
I know what you'd show in them. You wouldn't shut up of hundreds of beavers. You'd be
Oh yeah.
years old and you'd be like, 100 beavers.
I saw that movie over
wasn't
10
99.
times in the movie theater, and tickets were not cheap. I tell you what.
The next time I go see that movie in theaters and there's like a talkback, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna ask the question and I'm gonna stand up at the podium and I'll be like, so why'd you stop at 100 beavers? You were so close.
Dino, what about you? We can't forget about Dino.
About what I would say?
Yes.
to 40-year-old from now,
Right. So I would have kind of be close to what my dad's now. So I'm trying to think stuff that he's told me, but I guess I've heard all of his stories. But yeah, like I mean, I used to work at a zoo right around around 19, yeah, 1920 maybe. I did that military training in Paraguay. Like I don't know, there's a lot of time I'd be like, I used to have a roommate who was from Detroit City.
no, you fibber. That's some bullshit.
Oh, that's funny.
So
What did
yeah,
you guys? Oh,
I
sorry.
guess it's. I mean, yeah, because if you think about it, right, 40 years since they left 19, then I'm like halfway there, kind of at 18. I was just thinking about that.
Yeah.
So I'm like halfway. So I
You're in
feel
the
like,
middle.
yeah, and right, kind of in the middle. So I'm like, what's these next 20 years gonna add story wise that I can add to my repertoire? If not, it's all stuff like, because that's usually what I tell people now, and usually like, what? And I'll tell them shit from Paraguay, and they'll be like, what are you talking about? That's a whole other country. I'm like, yeah, it is. So,
You should order a giraffe to the farm.
what?
You should order a giraffe to the farm.
They got the line, not the giraffe. And what's great was that it said Acme Delivery on the side, or Acme,
I didn't catch
whatever.
that.
Yeah, so which made it way more cartoonish. But the giraffe wasn't for them. They only were buying the lion.
That's right.
They weren't buying the other animals. I don't know why you guys got so hung up on the
Because it's a
giraffe.
cool giraffe in like the middle of the 1940s. It was awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So all that being said, did you guys believe these guys during the movie, and how did you feel about the reveal at the end where the grandson pops up and kind of validates their story?
Well, let me go first. I didn't believe nothing.
Mm.
Nothing. I didn't. I believe this movie is fake. I do not believe anything.
Mhm.
What happened to that giraffe? What the fuck? A lion does not behave that way. It doesn't matter how old it is or how domesticated it is. That lion is not gonna jump in front of a kid and just be cuddling and stuff. That is not happening. I do not believe that this mom was out here groping men in front of her kid. Like, what is that like, yo, how disconnected? If this was an era that OnlyFans was created, that was the first MILF that will get into that app, because she was wilding out here, yo.
What?
Yeah.
What is happening?
right.
Okay,
But tell us how you really feel, Steve.
anybody else have any input on, like, did you think that they're like, did you believe them? Obviously it's a movie, but like, did you believe the story, but then how did you feel like
Yeah,
when
I
the
was buying into it honestly. Like I feel like at some point you're supposed to like wonder, like, wait a minute, are they telling the truth? But I bought in, and I felt like they sort of like were proving it as they went along, little by little. I was like, I can actually totally see these guys doing this. I mean, it starts out with them flying an airplane, so I'm like, these guys are down for adventure, and they're wild because they flew it underneath the underpass. I'm like, so these guys are just like, let's have a good, let's go crazy. We got some money, we can really do whatever we want. Let's do it. And we're old now. They probably already have been doing whatever they want. And they're just like settled down, but they're like, we used to be in the freaking Foreign Legion, man. We can't just sit on this farm all day. We gotta like fly an airplane or something. Let's get a crop duster. So yeah, I believed it right from the rip. I'm like, these guys are everything they say they are.
By the end of the movie, I believed it. But I was definitely in the camp of like, oh, as soon as like the fake boyfriend or whatever shows up, is like, oh, that's gonna be the big reveal where turns out they got the money elsewhere or through other type of means. Because I'm not gonna lie, when I saw that mess of like all them sacks of cash, especially with some that have labeled like, oh, New York City Bank, is like, oh, shit's about to get interesting. Okay, we're gonna find out the truth. That's gonna be the big reveal and the conflict of this film. But like, no, He just believes it, and then that wacky ass ending confirmed that was all legit. I thought it was. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, that ending was wild, man. There was no way I thought the movie was gonna be more crazy, but to show that plane mid barn and for everyone to treat it with such reverence and respect, like damn, they went out like fucking heroes, didn't they?
But then they
Going
had the
out to those
ship. They
bastards.
had like a yacht. They had a yacht parked in the little tiny ass lake.
Well,
Oh,
I'm glad they
God.
started spending their money, man. I really am glad. See,
And then the dude went like, "Oh, I'm landing my helicopter in your head. I'm sorry, buddy, but your dad's tried to kill my grandfather, and now we're friends because that's how life works."
Ha 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 ha! Good thing we got all that oil money. Ha 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 ha! We're just gonna show up unannounced. Did I believe it going through? Kind of because the first time he's sleepwalking, he's doing the sword moves, and in the music, in the sound, they have like ching ching. They have actual kind of little sword fighting sound effects, which was a cool little thing. Yeah, I don't know if we needed that at the very end just to like figure out that they went and changed the gold for cash, I guess, which isn't a very sound advice, right? Gold cash is going down, gold is always going to kind of keep its value or go up. So they turned all that to cash. They probably lost millions right there. They should have just be selling it as they need it, not
I mean, to be fair, Dino, for one of the first salesmen that came was like, "Put your money in a high yield investment in gold and silver," and they just shot his ass.
oh
that is true. You're right. That did happen.
it was
oh
a
I,
different time. It was a different time.
I was waiting for the crypto bro to show up. Like the more modern one.
I like
Yeah.
how they said a salesman kept showing up with new stuff for them.
Yeah.
There's like a whimsy to that as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and in the
Oh,
credits it says Jeff. It's in the credits it says Jeff Bezos.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I was down for my oldies. I knew their story was real. But as I'm just comparing it to my first time watching, I think it was cute to see how their history impacted other people, right? Because you'd be like, man, if you guys escaped a king, like, why are you okay? But it's good to know. I think it was a cute thing. Again, first time I watched this, I had zero idea who these people were. So it's kind of funny in hindsight, like that this silly, majestical journey is played out by some really heavy hitting actors. It's like it's pretty funny. But yeah, all right. Well, let's get into those final. Or, I mean, I don't know if you cared enough, Jason, but did you get the numbers by
I
chance?
did. I did.
Ooh,
Sure enough. So the movie grossed worldwide box office about $48 million on a just about $30 million budget. So,
okay.
I mean, you would think it profited, but it was probably sort of a little closer to break even on this thing. Once like vendors and advertisers were paid back. But I would imagine DVD sales and probably cable sales pushed this thing over the edge. So it's probably like a fair movie. It was probably profitable. People didn't lose any money on it. Probably not.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's crazy to me that it did that well. Like, again, like my perspective is narrowed. Like, this is a movie my mom found at a thrift store, and I thought, no one ever talked about it, and I was just like, "Okay, cool," and it was just like a story. I think I gravitated a lot towards, like, movies about young people with, like, not the best parents, so it hits my heart in a lot of ways, but I really thought that this movie popped up out of nowhere. I just didn't know, I didn't like I said, I didn't know who any of the actors were in my first time on it, but cool. Alright, let's dive into final thoughts, and we'll start with Steve.
Wepa. Final thoughts. So one of the things I definitely want to give an honorable mention to is the the scene where Adam McCain, is that his name? Is
Yes,
it?
Michael Caine.
Okay. Michael Caine. So when Michael Caine is telling the story, and he was like, "Yeah, and I rescued him, and I never dropped a coin," and
Yeah,
then it went back. It went back, and he was like struggling or whatever. That was super hilarious. Um, Also, when the Robert Duvall is coming out of the of the hospital, and he's like, "Why am I naked? Where are my pants?" And he's like, "Did you guys put me here?" And they're just like, they have that shot of going like, "No." That was super hilarious as well. A question that I have for y'all. I know this is final thoughts, but a question that I have for y'all is, what will happen, or what would you guys do if you were essentially at a party drinking, and then you got drugged, and now you woke up, and now you're at a war?
Oh, Shanghai. Okay. I was like, what the fuck are you saying? Okay, yeah, no, that was in the movie. Oh,
Jump.
especially, you know, what's going on today. I need to specify which war we're going to, man.
In that scenario, the big thing of the French Legion and all that is like they had your ass in the desert in Africa. So it was like you either fight or we kill you, or you get deserted in the desert. Good luck. You're gonna starve or dehydrate and die. So that you didn't have a whole lot of options. So I would imagine I'm gonna fight until I figure out a way that I can get out. You know, but I think the initial thing is like, yeah, you're one of the boys now. Get in line.
yeah.
I don't know, man. Like I hope they wouldn't do that to me because I'm just a girl.
Are you gonna be Shanghai Karen? You're not gonna Shanghai me. I need you back. I want to speak to your manager. Where's the Shanghai manager?
Is it? You just do the girl dumb thing. Like, is this how a gun works? Oh, I don't. Oh, I don't want to accidentally kill everybody.
Right.
Oh no.
Maybe just send me home. I can bartend.
Right. You can bartend with the desert party.
But yeah, usually not a whole lot of options if you get Shanghai. I would imagine.
Yeah.
What about you, What about you, Jason? If you woke up in a Titanic boat on your way to war?
Um, it just becomes about survival at that point, and you do what you got to do. Listen, I'm a big deserter kind of guy, so I might steal away in the middle of the night. You know, I'm really big on maps. I memorize them pretty good, so I would just use my strengths to my advantages and like try to get out there, like steal a horse at night and try to get somewhere safe.
Note it, because it's giving.
I'm a
It's
big time deserter.
it's giving.
Nothing's wrong with that.
You might need all resources, so that whole map remembering thing.
Yeah.
Well, they
Might have-
kidnapped me first.
Listen, I'll just be like, I'm good with computers. I could be your IT guy. You know, I can put Super Smash Bros. Right here in the computer, bro.
Speaking of, you gave honorable mention and did the hospital. I want to do the honorable mention of kid just taking the area code map from the phone book and wanting to use that as like the Montana, the 4 or 5 area code or whatever. Like, I'm using this as my map to try and go. And then that when he's like, which way is north? And I forget who it was actually lifting his arm to like point, and the other guy's like, don't, like clearly like, we're not gonna let the kid walk in the night. Like we gotta help them out. So that's my honorable mention of a fun bit.
Last honorable mention, then we'll get back to final thoughts. But we didn't even talk about how he beat that kid up at the bar and then taught him a life lesson. But it's cool.
That felt like we were going straight into what's the movie? Back to the Future. I like this is Back to the Future vibes.
Oh yeah.
It was almost like Lauren Hardy, like just you know, yeah, it was so silly. It was,
And then
yeah,
he beat him up so good that they like helped him like go find the lion.
yeah.
Yeah.
He gave him the gun.
Back to final thoughts. Dino.
Oh,
Or
I didn't finish mine. Come on.
oh,
So my final thought is this movie is wacky as f. It was unlike all you guys. That, by the way, this is my first time watching it too. But like, unlike all you guys, I never seen a single trailer or nothing. Never heard of this movie that ever existed. And when I saw that it was in Texas and Michael Caine was in this, I was like, "This is gonna be hilarious." Because I was just like, "Can he pull off a Southern accent?" And yeah, and I was bamboozled with how
In one
bad
scene he did.
in one scene, yeah, but in the narration it sounded like him in the when they're in the fields, he was super English in that scene. That's the scene I lost it. I was laughing so much. But yeah, final thoughts. Would I recommend this movie? I would recommend it to I don't know, people that like, that period of the 90s and early 2000 films. Those are the people I would recommend it to. I don't know if this film, unless you live in Texas, will stand the test of time and you watch it with your kids for nostalgia reasons. Um, it has good acting, but it has a lot of wacky stuff too. So it's a mixed bag for me. But that's my final thoughts.
cool. Dino.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. All right. Yeah. So first time watching it, and yeah, it reminds me like Steve was saying like late '90s, mid late '90s, early 2000 kind of kid movie. Like this could easily have been a cartoon, or even like what is it, Page Master or whatever that was called with
Macaulay Culkin.
where it's kind of like it can be real time, and then in the storytelling, it goes into cartoon world, or like either Pixar or something. So yeah, it's a weird one because at the end they were doing animation, and I was like, oh, they could have easily done all the flashback as animation, especially if they didn't want to have like younger cast, or uh, I almost thought the younger Michael Caine was maybe Jude Law when they were first walking down the boat. I was like,
Oh yeah.
that was Jude Law, but it wasn't. It was a Jude Law lookalike, apparently, from the one angle. Yeah. So would I watch this again? I mean, I don't think so. Like, it would be extremely hard to have a reason to watch this unless someone really wanted to for whatever reason or in another group setting. Like if it were just to, this could be one of those you're flipping through channel if that's still a thing. Oh, going back to like when you were 80, what are people going to be? We used to have to flip through channels and find something to watch, and whatever popped up, that's what we had to watch. We couldn't choose like you can choose now by just thinking about it. Uh,
We had a channel where Jerry Springer was breaking fights.
yeah, exactly. I had two channels, and I would have a knob, and I was the youngest, so it was my job to go and switch channels when we wanted to switch channels, and I had to get up and go and yeah. So anyway, I don't know who I'd recommend this movie to because I feel all three of the main actors have way better films to recommend. Even Michael Caine being in like Jaws 5 or something like that, or the third one, whatever, which he famously is like, well, that movie bought me my beach house. Or, like he's just honest about that. So I'm sure him and Duvall were probably like, oh, do some money for the. We just sit on a freaking porch and shoot shotguns all day, sure, I'll do that movie. Yeah. So anyway, not sure who I'd recommend it to, but it is zany, wacky, very silly. There's like maybe 2, 3 parts where it was supposed to be kind of serious when they have slightly breakdowns, either talking about Jasmine. Like, I mean, again, not only did he murk like I don't know, 100 people from all the wars that he was in, and every time he had to get through into the different palaces. But then, like, they talk about like mom and kid died at childbirth. This is a PG movie, and then just like whoosh, go over that. I want to know if there's. I want to see like every deleted scene. I want to see like the script. How was it written? Was it going to be more like serious, or was it going to be more even more cartoonish? And they're like, that's when you're like, oh, Jasmine was real. She died in childbirth. Like, and we're just gonna walk right by that and never mention any of that thing again, or how that trauma affects him or whatever. And then I want to know, what was Michael Caine up to other than being like the second fiddle or just, going along for the ride? What about his love interest?
I feel like
Or
you're getting into Steve's Brokeback Mountain thoughts with those.
there you go. Anyway, so that's kind of it. I enjoyed it. Again, just weird watching it right after The Godfather. Um, Probably didn't help, that I did that as a way to clear. I probably needed a palate cleanser between The Godfather and this movie. Yeah. Anyway, that's it. I will say, if you gotta watch it, watch it. It's not gonna be a havoc, so go for it.
That's
All
funny.
right, Jason.
Okay, so I think, like I said, like I like this movie. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. It's something you can watch with your kids. I don't think it'll be very many kids, like family favorite film. But I mean, Marina, it was hers. It'll be somebody's. Just not super high up there. I think there's better movies with kids. Kids have this tendency to latch on to one movie, and they were just like, I want to watch this movie twice a day forever. I don't see this being one of those movies for kids, just because to the dynamic of it. It takes place like in the 40s. It's a little bit slower with the old men part, even though like the lead is a kid. Um, the story does move at times. It really does. I just feel like there's not enough of the kid having the adventure, maybe like in certain other kids movies, perhaps. So with that said, I would recommend this to families for sure. If you love Robert Duvall and Michael Caine and you got to see everything they did, which I wouldn't fault anybody for that. Those guys are terrific. Yeah, you could probably add this to your list. You could also sort of like just sort of watch it while you do something else. You don't got to like totally zone into this thing to like understand what's happening. I don't think. But there's some good stuff that happens. The director who directed this also directed The Iron Giant. So that's like a classic piece of animation. That's a classic movie, period. Like, right? Classic kids movie at least. So he's used to directing animation and like family film. So this kind of thing, I guess, maybe is like in his wheelhouse. It looks like on his list, it's one of the bigger things he's did, along with Dennis the Menace Strikes Back in 1998. So he's in that pocket. He's in that kid family movie pocket. It seems like. Haley Joel Osment was really big star, probably coming into this thing. Considering his other like giant movies before this. Uh, Would I see it again? Nah, I don't ever need to see this thing again. It served its purpose. I mean, unless like I was watching it with a kid or something, and they're like, "Hey, can we watch the Secondhand Lions?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, we can watch that, kid." Uh, yeah. Other than that, yeah, I guess those are my final thoughts.
Shoot,
You
that's
go.
on
Heat
me.
it up.
Well then, all right, Jay.
Radio. Yeah, no, it's a harmless movie. It's wholesome, whimsical. It's so weird because like while watching when during the watch, there was definitely like emotional beats in this movie that I'm sure if there was any other form of different direction or a different way that they went about it, it would have landed. Me as an audience, I was very much aware. It's like, oh, this is the moment where I'm supposed to feel this. This is the moment where I'm supposed to feel that. But unfortunately, I didn't feel any of it. So,
AP, you missed it.
what's up?
I thought you were gonna make a it would have landed pun of the plane would have landed.
Oh no! How brave of them, though. They made an aviation joke 2 years after. I'm not gonna do
Holy
that.
crap.
Shit.
But anyways, no, it's so weird because like yeah, you could definitely I feel like the only people I could recommend this film is probably like very young families and whatnot. But even then, I think Jason said it, like there's definitely better family movies in which the delivery not only like is on point, but it's just better movies. It's a really harmless film. I just feel bad because I'm sure having nostalgia or actually growing up with this movie definitely helps. But me as an adult man just watching it, like I don't know, I'm not the audience, but I would definitely recommend to like if you happen to have like little youngins with a wild imagination. For the most part, it's harmless. I'm shocked that it's rated PG, but then I keep on being reminded that there's literal murder in this movie. like multiple. So yeah. I think on my letterbox I gave it a 3 because I feel like giving it anything less would be disingenuous. Like it's not that bad of a film. It's mostly harmless. Is it great? Not really, but it's still a fun enough time for you and your kids.
That was the nicest way to reject me. I'll take it. I'll take it. Yeah, so my final thoughts. It was very interesting rewatching this as an adult. And with Robert Duvall's passing, I'm going to be pushing this down people's throats for months. All right. People will be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he passed. I'm like, oh my gosh, did you see Secondhand Lions? And then they're going to watch it and they're never going to talk to me again. But it's okay because who needs people in this world? It's all burning. But yeah, it was really fun rewatching it. And yeah, obviously it's definitely different. I thought this movie was so fascinating when I first saw it. And this time I was like, this is cute. It's just a cutesy little film. Probably would also recommend it to young families just trying to find something that the whole family can watch if it ever comes up because like who's asking about movies anymore? Like there's so much to choose from. But yeah, I really liked staying with you guys. Like I said, this has been in the back of my head for the longest time, and I was like, I don't know, it's too kiddie for the group. But yeah, once JP did SpongeBob, the floodgates open. So get ready for some.
We're doing all fam. This is Family Cinema Club
It
now.
is fun and family friendly. 2026, okay? Gang, outside. True, yeah. Whatever they're
You
saying.
ain't down with the family.
6, 7, you know?
6, 7.
7.
We're gonna watch the Robin Williams Popeye.
Right. Yeah, that was amazing. So, Jason, what's up? What's going on? What else you got to say?
Well, I mean, now that everybody's said their piece about the Secondhand Lions, I just want to know, Steve, what you got for us next week?
Next week, can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Next week, I'm so glad you asked because we're watching the sequel, Secondhand Lions, the return of the second lion that never showed up. No,
That's
it is
hilarious.
Dino's turn.
Third-hand lions.
Hell yeah.
No
Electric Boogaloo.
Lions.
All right, this is a movie. It's been kind of in the back burner of when it comes up, and I don't have one, I should pick this. It always comes up on the Criterion closet of people that want it because it's a Dave Lynch film. Mulholland Drive, and we also were just driving up around Mulholland Drive yesterday. So there you go.
Woo,
Damn.
woo.
Never seen it, and I felt why not watch it with my besties.
All
I'm
right,
more
very
of a
cool.
Sunset Boulevard type of fella, but that's just my preference.
Heyo, those are streets in Los Angeles.
All I wanna do is have some fun. Yeah.
So for
Cool.
El Dondino, JP, the Marina Love, Jason_Echoes, and me, Steve the Stevie. We'll catch you next week. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.